My head was pounding as the whispers grew louder, clawing their way into my thoughts. They weren't just words anymore. They were memories. Flashes of lives I'd never lived but felt were my own. A family I didn't recognize. A house I'd never visited. A voice, soft and pleading, whispering my name. Ray, come back. Evan stumbled beside me, clutching his temples. It's in my head, he gasped, his voice strained. It's showing me things I don't want to see. I grabbed his shoulder, trying to ground him and myself. Evan, focus. Whatever this is, we have to fight it. But even as I said the words, I wasn't sure how. The glow from our hands pulsed faintly, in rhythm with the hum of the air. It felt as though the light was alive, spreading under my skin, threading itself into my veins. The whispers shifted, not just haunting, but commanding. Return to the source, the voice demanded, low and guttural. The forest around us seemed to shift, the trees bending impossibly, their branches forming an archway that led back toward Willow. I couldn't explain it, but I knew we were being herded, funneled back toward that pulsing entity. Evan caught my gaze, his eyes wide with fear and resignation. It's not letting us go, is it? No, I said grimly. It's pulling us back. The whispers grew deafening as we walked, each step heavier than the last. The path twisted and turned, but always led us back to the edge of the town square. And there it was again, the black building with the glowing door, waiting like a gaping maw, ready to swallow us whole. I glanced at Evan, my voice shaking. We don't have a choice, do we? He shook his head. No, but maybe we can stop this. We stepped inside. This time the hallway wasn't sterile and empty. It was alive. The walls pulsed like the walls of a throat, veins of glowing light coursing through them. The whispers became screams, overlapping voices that felt like they were tearing my mind apart. At the end of the hallway, the orb waited for us. It was larger now, pulsing wildly, its light brighter than ever. As we approached, the voice returned, booming in our heads. You are part of the system. You belong to it now. I shouted over the noise. What do you want from us? The orb shimmered, and images appeared within its surface. The town of Willow, its streets bustling with life. Children playing, families shopping, people living their lives as if the place had never been abandoned. And then it changed. Storm clouds rolling in, shadows spreading through the streets, people disappearing one by one. They failed. You will not. Failed what? Evan demanded, stepping closer to the orb. The orb pulsed again, and this time the images burned themselves into my mind. The town had been an experiment, a place to test the boundaries of human will and resilience. The entity, it wasn't just controlling Willow. It was Willow, an ancient intelligence born of the town's darkest moments. It thrived on fear, on confusion, on the unraveling of the human mind. And now, it wanted us to continue its work. You are the architects, the voice said. Build the next iteration. Evan backed away, his hands glowing brighter, almost painfully so. No, no way. We're not doing this. The light from the orb flared, blinding us, and I felt a surge of energy rush through me. My body felt like it was being torn apart and rebuilt at the same time. When the light subsided, Evan and I were standing in a room of mirrors, but the reflections weren't ours. Each mirror showed a different version of us as townspeople, as teachers, as police officers, as leaders. In each reflection, we were building something, a new Willow, a new trap. I turned to Evan, panic clawing at my chest. This is what it wants. It's forcing us to be its pawns, to create another town like this one. We can't let it win. Evan's face hardened. Then we destroy it. The orb pulsed, the voice bellowing. You cannot destroy what you have become. But I wasn't so sure. The glow in my hands intensified, the light now pouring out of me in waves. It wasn't just in me, it was me, and it was reacting to the orb. Evan, the light, it's connected to this thing. Maybe we can use it against it. He nodded, his own hands glowing brighter. Together, we stepped toward the orb. The air crackled around us, the whispers turning to screams. The entity fought back, sending waves of energy that knocked us to our knees. But we pushed forward. "Come on," I shouted, reaching out to the orb. Evan did the same, and the moment our hands touched its surface, the world exploded in light. I felt everything: the town, the people who had been trapped here before us, the countless lives it had consumed. And then I felt something else: control. The entity wasn't invincible. It was afraid. "Now!" I yelled, channeling every ounce of energy into the orb. Evan did the same, and the light intensified until the orb began to crack, its surface splintering like glass. With a final, deafening roar, the orb shattered, and everything went silent. I woke up lying in the middle of an empty field, the sun rising over the horizon. Evan was beside me, breathing but unconscious. The town of Willow was gone. No buildings, no fog, just open land as far as the eye could see. When Evan stirred, he looked at me with a mixture of relief and disbelief. "Did we do it?" "I think so," I said, though I wasn't entirely sure. But as we stood there, something caught my eye. A small, rusted sign half buried in the dirt. It read, "Exit 42, Willow." The whispers were gone, but in the back of my mind, I felt a faint hum, like an echo of something waiting, watching. We had escaped, but deep down, I knew the entity wasn't destroyed. It was waiting for the next traveler to take the wrong exit. And when they did, I hoped they'd be stronger than us. Because Willow never truly lets you go.